William Ruto met the Abagusi community in State House. The Kambas were not there. The Luyas were not there. Nobody asked a question. Tomorrow.
Mr. Gachagua.
No, I'm asking.
Mr. Gachagua.
I'm just saying.
Allow me to interject.
Yeah.
I'm speaking with Mr. Gachagua tonight.
I know, I'm just giving
not
an
with
example.
President William Ruto.
No, I'm just giving an example.
Perhaps when we get to interview him,
I'm just giving an example that this thing happens everywhere. Tomorrow morning, the president is meeting 5,000 people from Kiambu. The people from Machakos are not there.
So because he does it, then that makes it okay?
Because they are coming to discuss issues that are unique to that region. Okay? So when I went to the United States, I had town hall meetings for all Kenyans put together. And they were full, packed. And we discussed issues to do with Kenya. On the sidelines, community-based organizations in the United States invited me to engage with them about their own issues, their own culture, their own traditions. There are things that that do not transcend alongside all communities. When I went to Seattle, I was invited for the Gemi Festival. The Gemi Festival is a musical concert for the Kikuyu nation to dance and sing their songs that are unique to them. I would not have invited other people to come and join in the Gemi Festival because those were Kikuyu songs, people celebrating their culture, their identity, and loving it and singing all the way. But there is no one time I refused to engage all Kenyans. In all my meetings, in all the 7 states I went, I had a good town hall meeting with Kenyans across the board.
All right. A member of the audience, across of those that you met at the United States, even put this very concern to you. I want us to watch this clip together. One of the ladies who was in the audience said that you are positioning yourself more as a tribal chief than a national leader. Mr. Gachagua, let's watch what she had to say. All right, we had a technical issue. We want to fix the sound and make sure that we can all hear that, both you, Mr. Gachagua, and those who are watching us at this moment. And I think she was referring to everything that had been happening with the young people in this country, and perhaps how you were addressing the various communities in there. Let's see if we can get that in just a moment. So we'll come back to that.
I hope you also play my Leprai as well.
Well, we're here, so we can hear your reply.
No, it's also good to see what I told her.
But now that, yes, we've seen that. But now that we're here, we're live with you. We will hear the response from you. Let's fix that clip and we'll come back to it in a moment. Now, you may be unapologetic about positioning yourself as a champion of regional interests. But as a person who started off as Kenya Kwanza, Kenya First, are you not concerned that you're now Mount Kenya First, Mount Kenya Kwanza?
I am a Kenyan and I champion the interests of Kenyans. But I do come from somewhere. And those people are Kenyans too. And their interests are also important. And doesn't mean that because I come from there, I should not articulate their interests. I must articulate their interests because I come from there. Much as I articulate the interests of all Kenyans, the people of that region are Kenyans too, and they have their interests like all other Kenyans. And I'm not alone. All other leaders from other regions articulate the interests of where they come from. It only becomes an issue when the region I come from has issues they want articulated. I have had the Speaker of the National Assembly. I have had the Prime Cabinet Secretary championing the interests of the Western region. I've never had somebody tell them that that is tribal. I have had Aden Duale and the people from the northern Kenya articulating the interests of the people of those regions. And it is right, there is nothing wrong. I support it myself. I've never had anybody tell them it is wrong. You know, I have had people from the Lake region talking about their issues, about the issues of fish, about the issues of how to make sense and to make money out of Lake Victoria. I've never had anybody had an issue. Every region, Yvonne, has unique issues that sometimes do not reflect to other regions. So, and they need to be articulated by people of those regions.
Mr. Gachagua, are you Mount Kenya First?
I'm Kenya First, but I come from Mount Kenya. Because at the end of it all, Yvonne, today you are here interviewing me. When you leave here, you go back home. You are not going to stay here forever. You are here articulating national issues. You are here interviewing me. You are here doing a job. But when you finish your job, you go back home. Same with regard to Gachagua. I am here in Nairobi. I was in the United States articulating issues to do with this country. I'm here fighting for the interests of the Kenyan people. But on Saturday, I'll go to Wamunyoro. And when I go to Wamunyoro, I must listen to what the people of Wamunyoro are saying, because they too are Kenyans.
All right. I want us to, I think we've now sorted out that issue, because that may be a narrative that does not necessarily relate with the young people or the Gen Z of this nation. Let's listen.
You need, Mheshimiwa, to start positioning yourself as a national leader, not as a tribal leader. And I know many people won't like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. The first mistake that has been done in this event is speaking Kikuyu. I watched a speech about you in Boston, and the speech was a good speech, but there's something you said that Kikuyus are more hardworking, I'm paraphrasing, economic, we've grown the country. But we have done that because we are a beneficiary of the system of Jomo Kenyatta.
Are you able to put my reply?
Please do that here live now.
I was very happy with that young girl. To start with, my forums were not a praise and worship session. I didn't want people to come and praise and worship me and agree with me 100%. I was very happy to have negative criticism, and had an opportunity to explain to the young girl that when I speak to people, my work is to give them hope and to give them encouragement. When I met some Mount Kenya people in Boston, they are business people there, I had to affirm them and say what is their place in our growth of our economy.
What do you think is the place of the Mount Kenya people in the
economy? They
economy?
are hardworking. I said you people are hardworking. You are industrious. You are central in the Kenyan economy. And I'm very happy that the same industry I see back home is what I see here in Boston. And you must continue with that spirit. Those people who I met in Boston were from the Mount Kenya. I speak their language. I had no business speaking to them in English because I was in Boston. The fact that I was in Boston did not make me English. I was still Kikuyu. They were all Kikuyus. They had called me for a boozy in a traditional way because I'm an elder. And they said, we have an organization here from home. We want you to come as an elder. We give you mbuzi. And when I rose to speak to them, I spoke to them in our language. And I just talked to them about industry, about working hard. And I was very happy with what they are doing. And I told them, even back at home, this community is hardworking, and it plays a very central role in the economic development of our country. I didn't say that others don't work hard. I didn't say others are not important. And Yvonne, even you are an anchor. When I speak to you as a leader, I must affirm you. I must say, Yvonne, you are a good presenter. I must encourage you to continue.
Well, it's not necessary, Mr. Gachagua, but be that as it may, I want us to, the affirmation is not necessary. But I think the question is, do you understand that is a genuine view of young people who are calling themselves tribalists and leaderless? Your defense is well appreciated. But do you hear that the young people may not want this and may see you in this way?
What I told that young girl, if you had played my answer, is that her age mates back home are my fans. They understand me and they know me and they love me. Are all
of them your fans?
Many of them are my fans.
And the ones who are not your fans, how do you address the issue that they have with that?
All of them don't have to be my fans. I persuade the ones who want to be my fans, and the ones who are not willing to be my fans, I persuade them to be my fans.
Okay, so the ones who say, the young people who say you are tribalist, you are an ethnic extremist, you're saying their concerns don't mean anything to you?
I am not saying they are not. I am saying it's not 100% Gen Zs who think I'm tribal. Many of them think I am a great leader, I'm a nationalist. And that's when you come to my meetings, it's full of Gen Zs. And I actually give them a chance to speak. But that does not mean that girl has no right to speak. She has a right to have a contrary opinion. I'm a Democrat myself. I cannot force her to say that I'm a nationalist. If she thinks I'm not a nationalist, she's entitled to her own opinion.
Right. So
but
for
I
you,
did draw her attention to the fact that Gen Z is back at home. Yeah, are my people. They are my supporters because they understand me and they know that I'm not tribal. It's only that that narrative has been driven, and her being away and not knowing what is going on here in Kenya when she's in the States, she has bought that narrative. But I did persuade her that that is not the case.
Okay, so you believe the people of Mount Kenya are very central to the country's economy?
All Kenyans are central to the economic development of our country. But the people of Mount Kenya, like all other Kenyans, play an important role. And
you said central, because there's a difference between a central role and an important role. Not everybody can be at the center, right?
I'm saying central means that they are very, very, very instrumental in business. You know, if you go wherever town you go in this country, they are there doing business with other Kenyans. And therefore, they are central in that wherever town you go, if you go to Garissa, you find them there. If you go to Mombasa, you find them there. If you go to Malindi, you find them there. If you go to Tok, you find there. And they live well with other Kenyans, and they do business with other Kenyans, and they are really appreciated by other Kenyans. So they do play a central role in Kenya's economic development, in that they are in every part of this country doing business.
All right. It is for this reason that some of your party members felt you should be impeached as deputy president, because they felt that your shareholder narrative is too divisive for the country. And let me just remind Kenyans that in the run-up to your impeachment, you were vocal about a concept that you called shareholding in government. You explained this quite a number of times on several occasions, where you believed or seemed to believe that development follows particular voting patterns. And you were very specific about how the Kenya Kwanza government, should dole out goodies. I want us together to watch what you said about the shareholding narrative in government, and then we can seek some more understanding.
Hii serikali ni kampuni na ni ya shares. Si ndio? Ni ya shares. Kuna wenye kampuni, wale wako na shares mingi, kuna wale wako na chache, kuna wale hawana. Sasa nyinyi mliinvest kwa hii kampuni ya William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua. Sasa lazima mvune. Yule ambaye alipanda atafanya nini? Si mlipanda? Si mliamuka mapema? Mukasema mutaki kusikia mambo ya ile system na nini? Muka-invest, mukapanda, mukapalilia, mukaweka mbolea, mukamwagilia maji, wakati ya kuvuna ndio huu. Na hiyo wengine wananikashifu ati mimi nasema ati wale walipanda wavune kwanza. Iko makosa? Iko makosa? Hata hao watavuna, lakini wangoje. Si wale walipanda ndio wavune kwanza? Wakishavuna wavune, ile tabaki kidogo, wale wakupanda waingie, watafute huko nini, ile tapatikana wachukue, wakwende. Si yuko namna hiyo?
Mr. Gachagua, maybe you've never been given an opportunity. I want to do that now. Please explain to us this shareholding concept and how does it work?
Even this matter has been taken out of context. Government formation is a process. And a coalition government is formed based on an agreement. I sat down with William Ruto and on behalf of the mountain people, negotiated our expectation from his government. And he negotiated the votes he wanted from our region. And he did negotiate with me that he wanted 70% of our votes. And in exchange, he would give us 40% of the government. It was not written, it was a gentleman's agreement. He sat down with the people of Western Kenya. They were wiser than me. They demanded an agreement. He demanded 70% of their vote. They demanded 30% of government. He sat with Kingi from the coast, and Kingi demanded certain things that will be done when government is formed. I was simply following the honoring of that agreement, that what was promised and what was agreed on must be honored. And I was saying, we made an agreement that we are investing in this government, and this is our expectation. And Yvonne, it is not that it is anything that I was coming out from the blue. It was an agreement that was negotiated, you know, and I was insisting that that agreement should be honored. Other people are not insisting on the honoring of that agreement. I was under a lot of pressure from the people I negotiated on their behalf, that what we agreed on should be honored. And that is when William Ruto turned against me because he didn't want to honor what we had agreed. And luckily for me, and it's a mistake that I made that I have to live with, yeah, I didn't insist on a written agreement. It was a gentleman's agreement. Nevertheless, even a verbal agreement in law is acceptable.
Sorry, just so we understand, you say you negotiated on behalf of your people.
Yes.
What do you negotiate for?
Positions, development, roads, coffee reforms, tea reforms, you know, guaranteed minimum return. We did economic charters with President William Ruto, 4 counties in Kenya. And for the people that I represented, because he came to me because he wanted votes from my region. That is the truth. It was not that because he just loved me or he was my friend. It was quid pro quo, you know. Give me this, I give you this. And he said, Regadi, I want 70% of votes from the mountain. Can you deliver that? I said, yes, I can deliver. And I delivered 87%. And I said, I expect the following. I negotiated ministries of interior, finance, agriculture, water, lands, attorney general, trade. I negotiated all those agreements, you know? And where we started having problems is when he started taking away what we had negotiated. He took away finance. I had negotiated finance, he gave to Professor Ndungu. He took it away and gave it to John Mbadi. I had negotiated interior. I had negotiated trade. I had negotiated that and that. Because Vaughan, and that is where many people probably fight like...
John Mbadi came after you.
No, I'm just saying along the way.
Okay.
That agreement still stands, whether I'm there or not.
Is
because I negotiated on behalf of our people who voted.
All right.
And then they delivered. They gave you 7% of the votes. So they honored part of the agreement because the agreement was 70%.
So this was on behalf of the people of Mount Kenya?
Yes, yes, yes.
We don't hear much of the complaints from the people of Mount Kenya about whatever these agreements that were not made.
You wouldn't know. Why is there a rebellion in that mountain? That is the issue. It's only that I speak out. Other leaders don't speak out because they have been compromised. I speak out. And why do I speak out, Vaughan? Because I'm the one who entered the agreement on their behalf. I am the one who is taken to task, yeah, by the population. You came and promised us. You told us we vote for this man. Yeah, we are going to have coffee reforms. We are going to have tea reforms. We are going to fight alcohol. Yeah. We are going to do ABCD. We are going to improve the environment for business. Now, things have turned upside down. We are being overtaxed. We are being levied too many taxes. You misled us. So what I was doing is responding from the pressure from the people.
Okay.
On whose behalf I negotiated with William Ruto. But I took it up with him.
Yeah, but what you're saying, I suppose, is perhaps what we've always understood, that our political patterns and our voting patterns are tribal.
Let me tell you, Yvonne, it's not tribal. It's coalitions are coalitions.
No, but you said, you know, when there was an agreement that was made with you on behalf of the people of Mount Kenya, with Amason Kingi on behalf of the people from his region. So you're making this tacit admission now as former Deputy President of the Republic and a party leader that our voting and our political patterns are based along tribal lines.
Coalitions are formed by regional blocks.
Okay.
Okay? And William Ruto sought me out and my people. He sought Kingi, he sought Wetangula and Musalia. He sought everybody else. And that's the nature of our politics for now.
Okay, all right. So some then say, and I want us to listen to this clip coming up, that you are simply renaming tribalism, and instead of using the word tribes, you call them shares and shareholding. Let's listen to you defending this again at a different occasion.
Niko hapo. Huyu Felix hapo hapo. Rais mnamjua. Mimi mnanijua msimamo yangu.
Silence on my set.
Ya kwamba watoto wakiwa wengi kuna wale kwanza ya kuangaliwa, si mnajua? Sasa huyu Felix hapo pale ndio mwenye kuunganisha mawaya. Mambo yenu tumepanga. mambo iko sawa, chakula iko jikoni karibu kuiva, watoto ni wengi, chakula ni kidogo, iko watoto ya nyumbani, iko ajirani, iko namna hiyo. Na nyinyi mtulie, chakula ikiiva sisi ndio wenye kupakua, na watoto tunawajua kwa sura na kwa msimamo. Hatuwezi kuwa confused. Kuna mtu wajua watoto yake.
Mr. Gachagua, who gets to eat first and how much?
But I think you need to understand the concept of our politics. I was in a meeting in Nandi, and the Nandis were asking, you voted for this government. We have our sons who have not been employed. We have expectations. You people promised us that when you form government, you will do this for us. You have not done it. My work as a leader is to assure them. That's what I was saying. Relax. You know, we are still working on it. We know your support. We know you by name. We know you by face.
But you were creating rank. So, Mr. Gachagua, is it your belief today that the people who vote for a particular leader should be first in line for development projects, and the ones who don't vote for them do not get anything or get the scraps?
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe that
that's what you're saying in that clip.
Far from it. You are not interpreting the context. They were talking about placements. And I was saying, please, things are still being worked out. Relax. We know you. We know where you are.
So is placement based on those that vote?
Not necessarily.
Because it's the same thing you said. You asked for specific ministries.
But those
would it not be the person that is most qualified or merits that position? Or is it just basically tribe, the people that voted?
It is still meritocracy. It's still meritocracy, but there is regional balance. You know, there is a chance for every Kenyan.
All right, in that regional balance, how many ministries are you going to get per your agreement?
In terms of?
You mentioned that there was the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Finance.
I negotiated for 8.
For 8?
Yes, I
right?
negotiated, yeah.
In a cabinet of 22?
Yes.
Where would the regional balance if 8 out of the 22 come from one community? You've just talked of regional balance.
I negotiated with the president because of the vote that I was bringing in.
All right,
It was up to him to make the decision. Yeah?
Well, it was up to the both of you. Weren't you? President and deputy president are the ones who sit down and craft the government?
He is the appointing authority.
Oh, so now you're saying it's his issue to ensure regional balance and not yours? As long as you get your 8 out of 22?
It's still the same thing. When Raila Odinga came, he negotiated for 4 positions for him to support William Ruto.
I'm sitting with Mr. Gachagua.
No, but I am saying it is not that it is any different for anybody. It is what happens in this country. When William Ruto sought the support of Raila Odinga, he came and demanded 4 cabinet positions and 11 principal secretaries, and he was given for support. Even us, to give William Ruto support, we demanded certain things, and it was upon him to evaluate, take it or leave it. You know?
And now that you're out of government, is this a concept that you still believe in, Mr. Gachagua?
In terms of?
Shareholding?
I am not talking about shareholding in terms of being discriminatory. We are saying when we form a government, people must sit down and agree that if we are successful, yeah, we are willing to bring this number of votes here. This is our expectation from that administration. It happens all over the world. People must negotiate. And it's only that I was a tough negotiator, and why people thought probably I'm tribal or I am too much is because I was insisting to get what I negotiated for, and I was being shortchanged. And I was saying, no, I don't want to be shortchanged. I must get what I negotiated for, because on my part, I delivered what I promised.
Let's move to some more recent developments now, and back to your trip to the United States. Let's take a look at some of the other issues. While you were there, Mr. Gachagua, you made an allegation that President Ruto met Al-Shabaab leaders. That's a serious allegation, isn't it?
I didn't make the allegation. Here you are. Let me take you through. I'll take some time. It's not me. I was simply asking him to answer. Senator James Rich is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee in the American Senate. Tabled a bill in the Senate asking that the status of Kenya as a non-NATO ally be reviewed in view of the following allegations. Relations with China, that is one. Number 2, relations with Iran. Number 3, government of Kenya and key officials of Kenya with non-state armed groups and violent extremist organizations, including the Rapid Support Forces and Al-Shabaab, participation in the Belt and Road Initiative, and then blocked persons and foreign terrorist organizations, including such individuals and entities based in southern Sudan and Somalia. Again, extrajudicial killings and abductions. I'm not the one who came with these allegations. So when these allegations came and they were in the headline, Kenya is under investigations in the Senate. This is a bill, I've given it to you. President William Ruto replied and said the Americans have a problem with him because he has opened bilateral trade with China, which is good for the country. And that is why the Americans want to review their relationship with Kenya. So when I went to the next meeting, I said, fine, you have answered about China. What about the other allegations? You are being investigated in the country for working with Al-Shabaab, for working with RSF from Sudan, for extrajudicial killings, for abductions. The Americans want to know why. It is alleged there was a meeting in Mandera. Can you please answer? It is not me who came with this allegation. This matter is before the Senate.
Here is what, and I'm looking at this congressional record that you have shared.
Yes.
It talks about an assessment of Kenya as a financial safe haven
Yes.
for certain entities,
Yes.
including certain individuals.
Yes.
It doesn't name President William Ruto by name. You, on the other hand, are
Yes.
saying that he met Al-Shabaab
Yes, I did.
officials?
I named
because
him
this is
because
very different.
I named
Senator
him.
Risch, and in this
I'm
Congress,
saying-
does not talk about President William Ruto
I am
meeting.
saying
This
it's
was
talking,
your statement.
It's talking about Kenya.
It's talking about
and,
Kenya.
and its officials.
And those officials, according to you, are
Who
President
leads
William
Kenya?
Ruto?
Yes. Who leads Kenya? Who leads Kenya? And I am saying, I concluded it's William Ruto because I am private.
Okay.
I am private, and I've said it before,
Yeah.
on record, that President William Ruto has a working relationship with Hemeti, the leader of RSF. I have said that, and I have evidence. I'm the one who facilitated the meeting.
Okay. Sorry, you
I am the one-
facilitated the meeting
Yes, I did.
between President William Ruto?
And Hemeti, on his request.
Why would you do that?
Because diplomatically, a president cannot invite a deputy to come and visit him. And Hemeti at that time was the deputy president of Sudan. So William Ruto called me as deputy president and had a letter for me to sign to invite Hemeti. And I went to pick him at the airport and delivered him to William Ruto and started with the discussion. So I have said,
So this was an official meeting,
yes,
right? And in what way does this official meeting then become something sinister?
I am saying it was official in quotes, but they were discussing business and trade.
What did they discuss?
Business, gold. Gold, I've said it before.
You were at this meeting,
Yes, I was.
and you were comfortable with that sort of
Of course,
discussion
I was.
happening?
Initially, I did not know the purpose of the meeting.
And once you did find out the purpose of the meeting, because you say you sat in there,
What would I have done? That was the president, he was my boss. I said, yeah.
and what do you intend to do about this now? Why should anybody believe you?
What can I do? I'm asking him to answer these
All right,
questions.
that is different with Hemeti. You also talked about him meeting Al-Shabaab.
I am saying,
Where is that evidence? Because it is very different from this paper that you have presented
I'm
here
asking.
is different
I'm asking.
from stating
I'm asking.
that the president, hang on, that the president of the Republic of Kenya met Al-Shabaab leaders. Is that still your contention today, that he met Al-Shabaab leaders? And if so, Mr. Gachagua, where did they meet? What did they discuss? Because this is an allegation that you are making.
I am saying, President William Ruto answered on the issue of China. He has a mouth. He can answer whether he met Al-Shabaab or he did not meet Al-Shabaab. Kipchumba Murkomen is not a spokesman for William Ruto. Just the way he answered.
The one,
no,
Mr.
he
Gachagua,
answered. You know,
Gachagua,
Kipchumba Murkomen was answering
Gachagua,
me.
you alleged that, and now we would just want to
I have
understand
put the
from
allegation.
you.
I have put the
You have
allegation.
put the allegation.
I have put the allegation.
So would you want to provide that with facts? When and where did the President of the Republic meet Al-Shabaab leaders?
I am saying William Ruto can answer that. Did he meet them or he did not meet them?
Are you saying he met
The
them?
onus is on him.
No, the onus is on you. He who alleges must prove.
He's the one to ask me to prove, not you. Or you are not his advocate, are you?
I'm a Kenyan.
You know, I know.
When you make an allegation, do you not
But
expect...
why did he answer the one in China?
No. When you make an allegation, do you want nobody to hold you account for what you allege?
Let me tell you,
and
Yvonne.
This is why we're asking you here now.
Let me tell you, Yvonne.
did
This
the
matter is
president...
under investigation by the Senate.
Let me
tell
that's
you
fine.
what I'll
That's
not
understood. I just want to understand from you, you say the president met al-Shabaab leaders. When and where? And for what purpose?
What I have said, that this allegation was made by the Senate.
No, this allegation was made by you, Mr. Gachagua.
But the other details on top of this bill. I was in America. Every bill has attendant facts and figures.
Mr. Gachagua, when we have an opportunity to speak with the members of the Senate of the United States, we'll pose the same question to them.
Yes, you will.
Tonight, I am speaking with you, who has himself said that the
Let me
president
tell
has
you,
met
Yvonne,
leaders of
what
al-Shabaab.
will not do,
So we're going to ask
we
you...
will not prejudice investigations by giving details of what we know. Even like RSIF, I have said I have a lot of information that is available to those who are investigating this matter.
Have you given all this information? Because
Don't worry.
This was a request that was given by the state authorities.
I was in America. I was in America.
You're here now.
I did many things in America.
Tell
This
us
matter
what
is in the Senate of the United States. It's not an investigation in Kenya. And even when I was told I can talk about it in Kenya, I said the DCI has not launched an investigation in this matter. If they did, I would give what I know, but they have not. I am not going to volunteer information to an organization that is not investigating a matter. This matter is under investigation by the American Senate.
Do you not believe...
If they require my input on what I know, especially on Sudan, I'm available. To receive money from SHA and also money from housing. So that bank has grown, from a profit of 300 million in 1 year to 1.2 billion.
So I want to understand this. You're saying, so at what point did you realize SHA, according to you, wasn't the idea that you needed?
The first 1 year.
Housing in the first 1 year.
The first 1 year
Okay.
of our administration is where it started becoming very clear to me that this William Ruto was not a genuine man. He had conned, he was deceptive, and he's a businessman, and he's not interested in the country.
And yet, Mr. Gachagua, you stayed and then got impeached, and it is only after your impeachment that you started to speak out about all of these things, about organizing meetings.
I spoke before.
So my question to you is, you say you are not a yes man, and that's why the president doesn't like you.
Yes.
You say you realized that, SHA and affordable housing had issues with all of these. Were you ever going to say some of these things before you were impeached?
Yes.
Would you have continued to serve in the administration of President William Ruto? I asked you about some of these things a little earlier. You said, well, what could I do? He was president. You could have resigned, Mr. Gachagua, if you have such
I couldn't
grave
have
issues.
resigned.
Why not?
The framers of the 2010 Constitution are very wise. Why did they want a president and a deputy elected? So that they can check each other. That's what I was doing. I was checking from inside until a point he couldn't stand it, and he decided to get rid of me. What happened?
Mr. Gachagua, you were not very successful with checking him.
No, I was. Let me tell you. Let me now.
Well, tell us.
That's why. That's why. I went to cabinet and opposed the finance bill of 2024. I did.
2023.
2024.
Okay.
I said no, and it was put on record. And he was mad with me. And I went in public meetings asking the MPs to listen to the ground. It was a way of checking. Because when you are deputy president and there's a finance bill, and when people ask me, what do you think about this finance bill? I say, listen to the ground. The people did not want it. I told the MPs, listen to the ground. And the president was mad with me. Finally, when it came to cabinet, I went and opposed the demolitions and evictions of Nairobi River. If you remember, it was one of the charges in the Senate against me. I opposed when I was deputy president. I did not oppose when I left office, Yvonne. I opposed when I was in office. And it was a charge of insubordinating the president because of saying no. Our manifesto was clear that we shall never carry out demolitions and evictions until we have settled the people.
Okay.
When the Gen Z protests came, Yvonne, I want to put it on record so that we are speaking from the same page. I opposed abductions and killings. And when the president insisted, and our kids were shot and killed on June 25th, 2024, on the 26th of June, as deputy president, I called a press conference in Mombasa and castigated President William Ruto and the director of National Intelligence Service for abductions and extrajudicial killings. I am not doing it because I'm outside, Yvonne. I was doing it from inside. And that is why the president now could not stand it anymore. In fact, it's after my press conference on June 26th is when he made a decision he must get rid of me. And it took him about 4 months. He started putting things into motion. And I told the president, I think it was on June 22nd, when I saw the operation order, what had been planned, the killings, the abductions, I went and I said, Mr. President, I am a parent, you are a parent. I have 2 young boys, you have young children. How can we kill these people simply because they are saying the finance bill is not acceptable? Why can't we listen to them? He said, my friend, you are in government, you do what we are saying. So the subsequent meeting for National Security Council, I was not invited because I would have opposed the operation. So when it happened, on June 25th, the president called a press conference at night. He did not invite me, and he said this was treasonous, these are criminals, they'll pay for it. I was mad because I knew these children were innocent and they were simply clamoring for their rights and the rights of the people of Kenya. And what happened, Yvonne, is that nature abhors vacuum. The minute the president captured parliament, the minute he compromised Raila Odinga, there was nobody else to speak for the people of Kenya. And since nature abhors vacuum, the Gen Z just came up because that's the way nature operates, and they started speaking for the people of Kenya. So I made a decision. I flew to Mombasa. I called a press conference, and that marked the end of the relation between me and President William Ruto. We never spoke again. We just pretend we are speaking, but we never met one-to-one. We never spoke on telephone. We were speaking on messages until the day I left office. So you cannot say, Yvonne, that I spoke because I left. I started speaking. For 1 year, I was speaking from inside. And that's why he was accusing me. You know, he was telling me to defend Adani. I told him I will not. He says, go to the TV stations and defend the university model. I said, I will not, because the thing is not good. You know, I was in a funeral in Kitale, and the Senator for Kisii, Richard Oyonka, really attacked the government because of Adani. And I spoke last. I did not say anything. I talked about other things. I left. And the president's PA called me all manner of names. Wewe ni mujinga sana, you are very stupid. You are deputy president, you spoke last. Somebody has attacked the government and you cannot defend. What kind of a deputy are you? I said, my friend, tell the president to call me and tell him I cannot defend corruption. Adani is corruption, I will not defend. Then he said, utatuona. The rest is history. Yvonne, I am a credible man, I'm a man of honor. And I was prepared to face the consequences of standing with what is right and what is true.
I want us to speak about those protests for a moment and the state of rule of law and order in the country. Since those protests, there have been the abductions, there have been the killings, and there's also now an attempt at charging some of those who are involved in the protests using terror charges in the terror charge sheet. What are your thoughts as to where we are now, the state of the nation now, following the protests, in terms of the state of the rule of law? There's been talk and questions of having dialogue at this point. What is your thought on the state of rule of law following, everything we've seen with the protests in the country, and what the way forward or the way out of that impasse looks like?
Yvonne, I saw the president gazetting Katiba Day, and I was flabbergasted as to how foolish William Ruto think the people of Kenya are. Katiba Day? He has violated the constitution from the first chapter to the last one. Freedoms in the Bill of Rights have been taken away from the people of Kenya. These young people who were abducted, they were within their constitutional right to question government. Yet, and I've said many times, when the Gen Z started becoming very vocal, the president authorized the formation of a killer squad of 101 officers from the administration police who were seconded to the National Intelligence Service and given very high-skilled training in abductions, killings, and cover-up. And that is a squad that has caused havoc in this country. And it works under the National Intelligence Service. It was authorized by William Ruto. That is a squad that is responsible for gross violation of human rights. And what is sad, Yvonne, and this matter was raised with me in America, and I heard Akina Wetangula saying I went to talk bad about my country. I never talked bad about my country. I love my country. Kenya is a great country, and I told the people in America as much. But we have poor leadership. We have bad leaders. What is shocking, Yvonne, is after all this, a president who is elected by the people, a country with a constitution, a country that has a very strong Bill of Rights, can publicly issue orders for people to be shot in the leg and then taken to the hospital on their way to jail. It's a level of impunity. And I'm very happy that in the bill in the Senate in America, that issue has been raised, abductions and extrajudicial killings. Yeah? So, what is happening again when we had the last protest and Sabasaba? The state took over the protest and sent criminal goons to beat people, burn and torch property, and stage managed attack of police stations and courts. It was done by police. And then arrested innocent young people and charged them with terrorism. That court in Kahawa is a specialized court to deal with terrorism, a very serious crime that needs to protect our territorial integrity and make sure that the country is safe. But to make sure that these young people are intimidated and they have no voice and they will never again hold the government to account, they are charged with the terrorism. So as we speak, we are at the lowest in terms of violation of human rights. And that's where the Americans are having a great problem with us. And we have never reached where we are. And the situation is coming from bad to us. And it is laughable that the president, ahead of his address to the United Nations, is going there to the United Nations General Assembly. He is trying to appease the international community because there is a lot of concern about extrajudicial killings and abductions. He is trying to hoodwink the international community by ordering Professor Makau Mutua to set up a team to compensate victims of extrajudicial killings and abductions.
That team has been formally constituted today.
Yeah.
What do you think of the role of that, compensating victims of protests and dating as far back?
I think it is good. I think we accept it's good to compensate people. But that should be the tail end. Yeah? We welcome compensation. But let's be decent. Let's not try to hoodwink the international community. Before you compensate victims, you must first accept that there were extrajudicial killings. The president should call a press conference and say, hey, my fellow Kenyans, I accept that there were extrajudicial killings and abductions. And this is wrong, and I apologize to the people of Kenya. And I say pole to the families and the people of Kenya. Number two, I have ordered the disbandment of the killer squad of 101 officers who have been abducting young children and killing Kenyans. Number three, I give an undertaking to the people of Kenya that under my presidency, never again shall we have abductions and extrajudicial killings. Number four, all those officers responsible for killing our young people and abducting them will be prosecuted. Finally, sad as it is, I accept that parents have suffered and they require some compensation. I therefore order a mechanism be put in place to compensate those families. And Yvonne, government cannot compensate people it has killed. We must give it to another neutral body, like the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. Because what is happening is, we have a petition before the ICC. If government identifies these victims, then we will not have witness protection. These victims will not be able to give evidence against William Ruto and the government. So this is a scheme to get to know who are the possible and potential witnesses for cases of crimes against humanity that we are taking to The Hague. So we are saying, if William Ruto is genuine, he must do what I've told you. He must first call a press conference and own up to the killings and the abductions.
All right, before
Two,
I move,
Yvonne, he must disband that killer squad that has been doing it.
Okay.
And then he must de-gazette that team, pass this responsibility and the funds to the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, which is neutral. Because how do you get people who killed your child are the same people who are coming to compensate you? Even in terms of the way you relate. You know, the same person who shot your child is the one saying, oh, Mama, I'm sorry we killed your son. Yeah? Here is 100,000 to compensate you. How does it work? Let us have an independent body, the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, to be able to do it.
I want to talk about, and to switch gears a little bit and, talk about some politics for a moment and maybe go back to your return from the United States. You've been having the, what you call united opposition. We didn't see your colleagues at the airport to welcome you back.
They were not supposed to come.
Okay.
This was, I was just coming home. And I think when Kipchumba Murkomen threatened to arrest me, my supporters decided to come to the airport to make sure that I'm safe. It was a family affair. Of course, the government organized to attack me. And those were policemen in civilian, accompanied with goons. They actually wanted to kill me at Pipeline. They took a big boulder and dropped it on my car. I escaped death by a whisker. And I think they wanted to kill me. And what Murkomen should know, that if he had killed me, there will be no country. There will be a civil war. And I don't know whether they know what they are playing around with. This country, where it has reached, people should not have such jokes. Those are jokes that are not good. We have a country. We have a country, Yvonne. And myself, what I did, we were supposed to go through Jogoo Road all the way and greet people in the Kamukonji.
Yes.
Me, I'm a very responsible leader. When I assessed the situation, and I realized that a lot of force had been mobilized, policemen in civilians with guns, accompanied by goons with knives and pangas and rocks, and a civilian aircraft with policemen was hovering in the air and coordinating with the civilian officers on the ground, giving them our movement. Like I wanted to pass through express highway. The police blocked me so that I go to where the trap had been set. When I analyzed the situation, I said, let's cancel going to Jogoo, because I don't want people to die in my name. I don't want women to be hurt. Even journalists, your colleagues, ask them, you were with them there, they were beaten, their cameras were taken, the money was taken from them, they were threatened with the knives. A lot of violence was meted against us, and it is a threat, by the way. Even I heard the minister say, no, we were not aware of their movement. Yet he was saying 2 days before, we have credible intelligence, there will be violence. Of course, he had credible intelligence, there will be violence because they are the ones who are organizing the violence. He was predicting the same violence that he's organizing. So what I'm saying is, when I was away, they were trying to say when Rigiji is out of the country is peaceful. But my team went to Moranga. They were attacked by police with guns and guns. Again, they went to Gilgil. They were attacked by police and gangs. They went to Subukia. The violence that we have seen against DCP and myself is being carried out by the state. And I must say today, because it's important, I cannot report William Ruto to the police because they are under him. I cannot report the police to themselves. I cannot report Murkomen to the DCI because he is under him. So in the situation that I face with my members, I can only report them to the people of Kenya. You know, sometimes I hear Ruto saying, oh, go and write a statement. We write a statement to who? How can you go to report William Ruto to the police? How can you go to report Kipchumba Murkomen to the police? You can only, what I can do in my position is just tell the people of Kenya what is happening.
The National Police Service is independent?
It's not independent,
it's
because
not,
how can it be independent when Murkomen is telling them shoot to kill? When William Ruto is saying shoot in the leg? They are just pretending that they are independent. They are not. That guy called Douglas Kaja, he is from my home. And I told him the other day, you are a potential customer of ICC. Remember what happened to General Ali? William Ruto and Kipchumba Murkomen will use you. What is happening? I told him, Kaja, he's from my village. One of these days, you'll be in ICC. I want to tell these county commanders in Nairobi and elsewhere that we have set up a team to document all these violent activities. We have, like now what happened in Nairobi, we have documented it. The county commander, Nairobi, the sub-county commander, Embakasi, when we form government, they'll have to answer. Because why are they allowing police and goons to attack people? The county commander, Muranga, the sub-county commander, Kegumo, the sub-county commander, Gilgil, Subukia, we are documenting all these excesses. When this administration goes, and it will go, I want to assure you, there's a new administration. You will be held to account. So, and what happened in Central Police Station is a living example and testimony. The DIG Langat told people to torture Albert Ojwang. DIG has been absolved from blame. He's going back to work this week. The OCS, Central Police Station, the sergeant on duty, the corporal on duty are facing murder charges. I want to use this opportunity tonight to talk to our police officers. I want to talk to you as a father, as a leader in this country. Please stop being misused by William Ruto and Murkomen to do unlawful things because you'll answer. I want to ask our policemen to always be guided by 4 documents in the pursuit, in the course of their duty. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Penal Code, Chapter 6.3, the Criminal Procedure Code, Cap 7.5, and the Evidence Act, Cap 8.0. With those 4 documents, you can hold your ground. And even if your senior tells you to do something that is not covered by those 4 documents, you can stand your ground.
Okay.
But I want to say, if the government has decided to stop the one-term movement, they want to assassinate Rigathi Gachagua by using police in civilians and then blame it on goons, because I can see the pattern. What they have done, Yvonne, if you allow me, I have been attacked now 7 times. In November 2024, I was attacked by goons covered by police in Limuru. Up to today, nobody has ever been arrested. On 28th December, I was attacked by a police officer in Shamata. Nobody has ever been arrested. On 6th April, I was attacked by goons and police in Mweki, inside a PCA church. Nobody has ever been arrested. You know? Another day, I was attacked somewhere else. Now, I was attacked at the airport. What I can see, I was analyzing here with security experts yesterday, is that the government want to set up a thread where that Rigathi Gachagua is always attacked by goons, is always attacked by goons. So that one day, police in civilian can shoot him dead, and then say it's the goons, and then order an investigation to arrest the goons when he is dead. What I want to tell them is, and I want to be very cautious, I want to say, it's important I say, because I have seen the trend of what is happening. I want to tell William Ruto and Kipchumba Murkomen, please, don't ban this country. This is our country, we have no other.
Okay.
Let us be careful. Don't do stupid things.
Okay.
Yeah? Thinking that you are stopping the one-term movement, yeah? And create civil war in this country. Please
All right.
don't.
We will also talk about that one-term movement in a moment. But, you know, there was something you said a little earlier, that when we form government, you were giving a message to the police. Let's talk about that now. In the United Kenya opposition, some of your supporters have been saying that of all the aspirants, you are best placed to run for president. Mr. Gachagua, can you confirm to us tonight if this is something that you are doing? Are you interested in running for president of the Republic of Kenya?
What a question, Yvonne. Am I interested? Why not? I am a candidate to be president of the Republic of Kenya. I am qualified. I have support. I am looking for more support. And I'll be on the ballot as a candidate for president.
Let's talk about you being on the ballot. How will that happen with your impeachment?
What do you mean? William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta had charges against him, crimes against humanity. In The Hague, he was elected as president.
They were not convicted. They were facing charges at the ICC.
Nobody has been convicted.
Do you think that's a fair comparison?
Yes,
the charges
yes.
they were facing at the ICC?
What the Constitution of Kenya says. What the Constitution of Kenya says. What I just want to tell you what
yeah, for a moment. Can I ask the question?
Okay.
Okay. Do you think it's a fair comparison that they were facing charges at the ICC, facing charges? You, on the other hand, based on the laws of this country, faced charges at the Senate and were found guilty of some, not all, but enough to impeach you as deputy president.
John Weluke, the MP for Sirisia, was convicted and jailed for 74 years, okay, before the elections, okay? He filed an appeal before the High Court. When the elections came, the law is very clear that the Constitution guarantees your right to fight for elective office, even if you have been convicted, if you have not exhausted the remedies available in law. Okay? Regarding Gachagua has a matter before the High Court. It has not even been heard. It needs to go to the High Court, Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court, until the Supreme Court says regarding Gachagua was impeached properly.
And
yeah?
if that happens, if
I'm
the Supreme
saying,
Court,
I'm saying if the Supreme,
and that's what I'm saying.
If it says yes,
if
yeah,
you go
that's
all
what
the
I'm
way,
saying. That's what I'm saying.
And the Supreme Court says upholds your impeachment.
Yes, if it does, yes. If the Supreme Court opposes my impeachment, then I cannot run.
Okay.
It has not. The High Court has not. The Court of Appeal has not. Until that has happened, Rigathi Gachagua remains free to fight for office. And I don't want to discuss matters before court, but even the judges will take judicial notice of what is going on and how this guy called Rigiji was impeached. You know, the things are there. I don't want. That's what I'm saying.
Because I don't want us to.
But you see, you are the one. You are the one who brought things that were before the Senate. Yeah. Those speeches were before the Senate.
No.
I was tried on the same issue, so you are trying me the second time.
No. Those speeches were not as a result of the Senate. They were as a result of what you had said before. They were at the Senate.
You were trying me a second time.
Was I trying you a second time?
Because you were asking me to make comments on matters I've already made comments before.
No, we're holding you to account for statements that
so
you
what
make,
I'm saying
Mr. Rigathi.
Before I exhaust all the remedies available to me by law, and you know the law is very good. It gives somebody enough remedies so that you get fairness. Fairness,
all right.
Let me tell you what they say in law. They say it is okay for a guilty person to be freed. But it's unacceptable for an innocent man to be jailed.
And we shall wait to see
that
what
is
the
why-
court say
that's-
about
that's
that.
why-
Let's,
that's
I
why
want
there are
us to
four
leave it at
mechanisms.
that. Okay, I want us to leave it at that.
Yes.
And we wait to see what happens in the court of law and how far you take the process. But I want to hear your views on your other colleagues in the United Opposition who've also expressed interest in the top seat. What are your thoughts on Kalonzo Musyoka,
He's
the
a
party
good-
leader of Wiper Democratic?
He is a good man. He's a good leader. And he has the capacity to lead this country. Yeah. If I'm not chosen to be the flag bearer for whatever reason, I would have no issue, absolutely none, in supporting him to be president.
What of Ms. Martha Karua?
Same. Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Fred Matiang'i, Eugene Wamunyoro are all competent and capable leaders who can give good leadership to this country. And when we agree, because we have agreed that along the way, all the contenders will have to sit down and agree on one to be our flag bearer. I pray and hope that I'll be one, because I think I have the drive and the strategies and the numbers. And knowing William Ruto, because I know him well, I think I'm the guy who is best suited to take this guy home.
Is
Yeah?
unity possible?
So in case, yeah?
Is unity possible?
It's not.
Or will
it's
we
not
see everyone
possible.
pulling in
Possible is
their
a very
own
mild
direction?
word. It's a must. We have no choice. The people of Kenya have told us, in no uncertain term, they don't care who. They want one candidate to face William Ruto. We have a responsibility to restore this country. We have a responsibility to bring an end to extrajudicial killings and abductions. We have a responsibility to bring an end to corruption and misappropriation of public funds. And that can only happen when William Ruto is one term. And for that to happen, we need to produce one candidate to face him. Kenyans will not forgive any one of us, yeah? Any one of us who plays around with that unity. And I can tell you, all of us have committed, yeah? And I will be persuading my colleagues that we publicly sign a pact with the people of Kenya, committing that all of us, each one of us will support whoever is picked and none of us will go astray. So that whoever goes astray, yeah, will be a traitor to the Kenyan cause. So there will be unity, there will be one candidate, and I believe and I trust that candidate is the man seated opposite you tonight.
Let's talk about that election that would, the general election in 2027. We now have a fully constituted Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. You know, what are your thoughts around the commission? Are you confident that they have the capability and the capacity to run a free and fair process? And we'll come back and talk about the by-elections in a moment, but I just want your first thoughts on the commission, the new commission.
I am not very happy with the way it was picked, but nevertheless, it's in place.
What aren't you happy with?
Because there wasn't, I could see there was some consultation between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, who were on the same side. And therefore, there was no concurrence with other people. But be as it may, the way I understand the Kenyan politics, and by the way, I'm a student of political science, and I've been around for a while in all these elections. I did my vast voting, I think, in 1979, and I participated in all these elections. And when electoral laws were changed such that votes are counted at the polling station, and the ruling by the Supreme Court in 2013 that polling station results are final, it made rigging of elections next to impossible. I want to assure the people of Kenya that nobody can steal our elections. And all we ask the IBC commissioners is to fast track and hasten voter registration and do good preparation for the general election and make sure that they make all the materials available and they put all the logistics that are required into place. And that is their role. The rest they leave it to Kenyans. Kenyans will wake up early and they will make a decisive decision. And I don't think anybody will interfere with the will of the people.
All right. Before the general election, there are some by-elections that are coming up. Is DCP planning to field candidates?
Yeah. DCP is a national party and will participate in our elections, including Banisa in Mandera.
Yeah.
All that talk you saw in Mandera was trying to discredit me and DCP in Banisa because our candidate, Adan Mohammed, is a leading candidate. And the people of Banisa want to elect a DCP candidate because they want somebody who can speak for them. Because UDA people are praise and worship choir members of William Ruto. And we have a candidate in Berenov. We'll have a candidate in Magarini. We'll have a candidate in Malava. We have several wards across the country. We have a constituency in Ubuja, in Siaya. We are going to have candidates in all those elections, and we are going to put up a hard fight. Yeah.
President Ruto has pushed back on your campaign, your one-term campaign, saying your only interest is to remove him from office and that you're not offering an alternative.
Of course,
he's on record as saying, okay, so one term, then what? Do you think he raises a valid point about you actually offering an alternative beyond the slogan, one term?
Yvonne, did you expect William Ruto to give us a hug for wanting to remove him from office? Of course, he can't give us a hug. He knows one term is lethal. And he's complaining about slogan gearing. He's calling it slogans. His people are trying slogans of 2 term. What we are saying is, Yvonne, if you go to hospital and you are feeling unwell, the doctor must do some diagnosis and decide what is the problem. And if they find you have a bacteria infection, and that bacteria has caused so many other problems, the doctor first fights with the bacteria so that you can deal with the other resultant issues. What we are saying, and we are very clear in our mind, is that where we are as a country, for abductions and extrajudicial killings to come to an end, William Ruto must leave office. For us to stop corruption and theft of public resources, William Ruto must leave office. We are saying for us to restore our economy and create a good environment for business, William Ruto must go home. We are saying for us to bring an end to state capture, William Ruto should not be in office. For us to restore the health system and do away with this shared nonsense, he must be out of office. We are saying for us to restore our education system, bring back free primary education, make sure there is capitation, William Ruto must leave office. That is where the one-term thing comes from. That before we can even make the changes that we desire, the first thing is for him to exit. And that is why he's complaining and asking us for an alternative. We have very many alternatives. We have a very good program for healthcare, that we need to reform the NHIF the way it was and make sure that people have healthcare. We have a very good program to encourage agriculture, including in northern Kenya in terms of irrigation. Yeah, we've got a very, very good program on how to create a conducive business environment for people to trade. We have got very good ideas on how to deal with the public debt. We have all those very good ideas, and they'll be coming up in our manifesto. But we are saying for all those things to happen, yeah, Ruto must leave the scene, and it is not our business to make him happy. By the way, we are not in the business of making him comfortable. We shouldn't do what he wants. Why does he want to set the agenda for us? And he is asking us to give us our plan. We are not going to give him. Yeah, and by the way, we had a good plan. We just need to improve it. If the plan we had, the one he had given us, was implemented, we'll be in a good place. There are very many good plans, but they require implementation. But it's not for him to set agenda for us. It's not him to tell us what is our plan. It is not him to tell us what is our agenda. He has his agenda of stealing public funds. He has agenda of abducting children and killing them. Let him continue with what he's doing, as we have our own plan, and we'll implement it at the right time. But for us to achieve all those things, we must mobilize the people of Kenya to send him home.
Mr. Gachagua, as we wind up our conversation here, what do you say to Kenyans, some on social media even tonight, who in response to this interview that we've had, say that you are merely a bitter person whose only interest is to exercise revenge from a man who you say has punished you, that everything you're doing, including the movement that you've just spoken about, is not necessarily about the country, but it's about you getting your pound of flesh against your impeachment, against the president with whom you have now fallen out with, that this is just about revenge between two men.
Wow.
And is not the interests of the country and Kenyans at heart?
I don't think stopping abductions is revenge. I think it's the right thing. I don't think saying there should be no extrajudicial killings is revenge. I think it's humanity. I don't think stopping corruption is revenge. I think it's morality. I don't think stopping capturing of independent institutions is revenge. I think it's good governance. I am not interested in any revenge. I am interested in good governance. I'm interested in having a country that is working. I'm interested in having a happy population. I'm interested in having people going to hospital and getting drugs. I'm interested in having a country where children can access education. I don't think those things are anything to do with revenge. All I am saying is that for us that to happen, this man needs to exit. It's not revenge, it's necessity. It's necessity. It has nothing to do with revenge. I'm not a vengeful person, and I'm not interested. And I have nothing against William Ruto as a person. But I have a big problem with killing children. I have a big problem with corruption. I have a big problem with theft of public funds. Like now they want to buy Kenya Pipeline. You know, Yvonne, surely, this pipeline is worth 600 billion. They want to buy it for 100 billion. And that is Ruto and his people, you know? I mean, these are things that we cannot accept. How do you call that revenge? We are simply patriots, people who must stand out for the people of Kenya. Here in Rongai, Yvonne, the community gave 158 acres of land to the PCA church many years back to hold in trust for community, for public amenities. The PCA church have been doing it. William Ruto has gone there and without any public participation, without talking to the church, hived 40 acres to put up 2,000 units of affordable housing. And it's not even affordable housing, they are commercial houses by private developers. We cannot accept that. His own family, they have gone there. They want to put up a private stadium, one of his sons. We cannot accept that. How do you call that revenge? I am simply a courageous leader who is standing up for the people of Kenya. And not many people are courageous. Let me tell you, Yvonne, what I have undergone myself, the humiliation, the persecution, the brutal attacks by police and goons, not many people can stand it. You know, I'm a man of a kind, but I've decided to do it for my country. And not for my community, for my country. Because somebody must do it. Somebody must stand out and say, no, this is not acceptable, you know? And since now, Raila was compromised, Parliament has been captured, Senate has been captured, some character somewhere must stand up and say, no, we must stand up for the people of Kenya. That is what I'm doing.
A closing statement from you, Mr. Gachagua?
Yeah.
Your closing thoughts?
I want to say, I have seen our sugar factories in Western Kenya, Nzoia, Mumias, Chemil. They have all been leased. People have been rendered redundancy, and the sugar industry has collapsed. Bomas of Kenya has been leased to some Asians, you know, and Bomas of Kenya is a cultural heritage. Now we are giving it to Asians to run our own culture, you know. Everything is being leased, and when you ask William Ruto, he is saying, because of mismanagement, we must lease everything to people who can manage them properly for a profit. What I want to ask my brother, William Ruto, if the solution to mismanagement is leasing, since you have mismanaged Kenya, please advertise for the leasing of Kenya for the next 2 years. We get some people to lease Kenya because you are saying that is a solution. And finally, let me say this, Yvonne, I want to thank you and the media for what you are doing for Kenya, and you must continue. I want to acknowledge our TikTokers. They have become a powerful tool of communication in this country. I saw the other day Kipchumba Murkomen threatening our TikTokers that they should not push what I say. The TikTokers don't push anything from anybody, they push content. If you are saying something that is sensible and something that they think the people of Kenya need to know, they do it. So I want to thank our influencers, our TikTokers, our media for education, and you must continue doing it, you know. And I want, like now, please find out, I am told the Kenya School of Government, yeah, they also want to listen to some people from Dutch to do some housing. That's a very important institution for our governance. So all these things, the media must stay on top of things. You must be patriotic and you must go out of your way to call out this government, because with the kind of impunity, unless the media brings out these things, both the normal media, the mainstream media, and the social media and the influencers, and working together with leaders like ourselves, I think we'll liberate our country, because we have a duty to preserve our country, because we have no other country than this one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, for speaking with us on The Explainer tonight, for your time and your insights. We thank you. Let's take a